music history buffs and country fans, welcome back to our channel. Today we are diving deep into the heart of classic country music to uncover the forgotten musicians who shaped one of the greatest sounds in American history. You know Hank Williams, the lonesome crooner behind hits like You're Cheating Heart and Hey Good Looking. But behind every legend, there's a band that made the magic happen. Enter the Drifting Cowboys, the unsung heroes who turned Hank's raw talent into the honky-tonk heartbeat that still echoes today. Stick around as we explore their stories, struggles, and the indelible mark they left on music. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We've got more hidden gems coming your way. Let's start at the beginning. Hank Williams formed the Drifting Cowboys back in 1937 when he was just a teenager in Montgomery, Alabama. The name Drifting Cowboys captured the essence of their nomadic life, drifting from town to town, playing dives, radio shows, and anywhere folks would listen. But this wasn't just any pickup band. These guys were the backbone of Hank's sound, blending traditional country with bluesy rhythms and that signature steel guitar whine that defined the honky-tonk era. Over the years, the lineup evolved, but their core mission stayed the same: to amplify Hank's heartfelt lyrics with instrumentation that felt like a dusty back road drive. To really appreciate them, we need to understand the context of the time. The late 1930s and 1940s were a rough patch for America, coming out of the Great Depression and heading into World War II. Country music was evolving from hillbilly tunes to something more polished yet raw, influenced by Western swing bands like Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys. Hank and his Cowboys fit right in, but they added a layer of emotional depth that set them apart. They weren't just playing notes. They were telling stories of love, loss, and hard living. Now let's meet the men who made it all possible. The original Drifting Cowboys included talents like Braxton Shufford on guitar, Freddie Beach on fiddle, and Smith Hezzy Adair on bass. But as Hank's career took off, the band grew and changed. By the late 1940s, during Hank's peak with MGM Records, the classic lineup featured some real standouts. Take Don Helms, the steel guitarist whose haunting pedal steel lines became synonymous with Hank's sound. Born in 1927 in New Brockton, Alabama, Helms joined the band in 1943 at just 16 years old. His playing on tracks like Cold, Cold Heart added that mournful wail that could make you feel the chill of a broken romance. Helms wasn't just a sideman, he was an innovator, adapting the steel guitar from Hawaiian influences to fit country's evolving style. After Hank's death, Helms went on to play with legends like Patsy Cline and even reunited with surviving Cowboys for tribute shows. Then there's Jerry Rivers on fiddle, hailing from Miami, Florida. Rivers brought a fiery, upbeat energy to the group starting in 1949. His fiddling on jambalaya on the bayou infused Cajun flair, blending Southern traditions in a way that made Hank's music danceable and infectious. Rivers was known for his precision. Every bow stroke was deliberate, capturing the joy amid the sorrow in Hank's songs. Don't forget Sammy Pruett, the lead guitarist who joined around the same time. Pruett's electric guitar work added a rockabilly edge before rockabilly was even a thing. On honky-tonk blues, his riffs provided the gritty backbone that pushed country toward the rock and roll revolution. And Howard Cedric Rainwater Watts on bass kept the rhythm steady, his upright bass thumping like a heartbeat through endless tours. These guys weren't celebrities, they were working musicians scraping by. They earned modest wages, often just $15 to $20 per show in the early days, and endured grueling scheduling. Imagine piling into a beat-up Cadillac, driving hundreds of miles on unpaved roads, playing to rowdy crowds and smoke-filled honky-tonks, all while Hank battled his personal demons. It's no wonder the band had a high turnover. Over Hank's career, more than 20 musicians cycled through the Drifting Cowboys. What made the Drifting Cowboys special wasn't just their playing. It was how they collaborated with Hank to craft a sound that resonated across generations. Hank wrote the songs, but the band arranged them. For instance, on I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, Don Helms' steel guitar weaves in perfect harmony with Hank's vocals, creating an atmosphere that's equal parts poetry and melody. This wasn't accidental. Hank trusted his band to improvise and enhance his visions. Let's break it down musically. The Cowboys drew from diverse influences: the blues of Jimmie Rodgers, the swing of Western bands, and even gospel from church revivals. Jerry Rivers' fiddle often echoed Appalachian traditions, while Sammy Pruett's guitar licks hinted at the electric blues coming out of Chicago. Together they pioneered the honky-tonk style, up-tempo beats for dancing, slow ballads for heartbreak, all wrapped in that twangy authenticity. One fascinating detail: during live shows on the Louisiana Hayride radio program in the late 1940s, the band would adapt songs on the fly. If the crowd was energetic, they'd amp up the tempo. If it was a quiet night, they'd lean into the ballads. This flexibility helped Hank's music appeal to a broad audience, from rural farmers to urban workers post-World War II. But it wasn't all glamour. The band faced real hardships. In 1948, during a tour, their car broke down in the middle of nowhere, forcing them to hitchhike to the next gig. Hanko's struggles with alcohol and pain from spina bifida affected everyone. Band members often had to cover for him or even carry him on stage. Yet their loyalty shone through. After Hank's tragic death on New Year's Day, 1953, at age 29, the Drifting Cowboys continued performing, keeping his legacy alive. Don Helms, for example, recorded with Hank Williams Jr. later on, passing the torch. Here's a lesser-known story to illustrate their bond. In 1951, during a particularly rough patch, Hank fired the entire band in a fit of frustration, only to rehire them days later. Jerry Rivers later recalled in interviews how they'd laugh it off, knowing it was just Hank's way. Another tidbit: Howard Watts got his nickname Cedric Rainwater from Hank himself, who thought his real name was too plain. These personal touches show the Cowboys were more than employees, they were family. Their influence extended beyond Hank. The Drifting Cowboys style influenced artists like George Jones, who adopted similar band dynamics, and even rockers like Elvis Presley, who covered Hank's songs with a similar backing energy. Without them, country music might not have bridged to rock and roll so seamlessly. So, why shine a light on these forgotten musicians now? In an era of solo superstars, it's easy to overlook the collaborators. The Drifting Cowboys remind us that great art is often a team effort. Their sound shaped not just Hank's catalog, but the entire genre. Honky-tonk became the foundation for outlaw country, Americana, and even alt country today. If you're inspired, check out compilations like the Complete Hank Williams Box Set, where you can hear the band's full contributions. Or visit the Hank Williams Museum in Montgomery, Alabama, which features artifacts from the Cowboys era. Thanks for joining me on this journey through country music history. If you enjoyed learning about the Drifting Cowboys, give this video a thumbs up, share it with a fellow fan, and drop a comment. Who's your favorite unsung hero in music? We've got more stories like this coming. Next time, maybe we'll tackle the women behind the scenes in classic country. Until then, keep those boots tapping, and remember, behind every legend, there's a band that drifts no more. See y'all soon.